Hello everyone, welcome to Intermediate Accounting this fall. We're so glad that you decided to take this class online with all of us, and we're just thrilled to work with you and want to spend a few minutes going over how to find everything in this class. Hopefully we've laid it out so that it's easy to find and so that you can identify where all of the things that you need are to be found. So right across the top I've put the one-step links to the most common things that you're going to need. Of course, home, content, discussions, Dropbox where your homework is going to go. There's going to be discussions that are graded. You'll be able to check your grades here at any point. Send me an email. When asking me a question, I really do prefer that you use the discussion board so that everyone can see the question and answer. Email is really for questions that have to do with grades or something of a personal nature that you don't want other people to see. But when it's a content-related question about what we're working on and the homework or a podcast and trying to get explanation on that, then the discussion board is really the best place to do that. We'll use our collective wisdom to try to answer those questions. So that's across the top. My family, this is me over here, will be here on this side at all times with my contact information. I will try to keep you updated on what's happening here in the news feed in the middle of the page, including a little blurb about each week, that sort of thing. And then under that will be the content browser as it becomes available. And over here on the right, there will be your calendar will tell you what's upcoming and due and that sort of thing by date. So that's how the course is laid out. Let's go to the syllabus and the content and go over a little bit about some things that make this class unique. So all of the information here at the top is probably things you've seen before, and links to the refund dates, that sort of thing, when you can contact me and how to contact me, again, another way to find that. Catalog, description, learning outcome. Notice, we do not have a required textbook. We're going to find the material that we're going to learn in explanations. I'm going to provide you with some podcasts, some PowerPoint slides, and explanations that way, links to various places where you can find further explanations. We're going to use some training materials from various accounting firms. We're going to use the actual FASB codification where the FASB actually publishes its rules, and we're going to get how it should happen right from the source as much as possible. So here's our expectations. We want you to use all of the helps that you are given. Make sure you ask me for help, for questions. This is a difficult course. This is a challenging course. That's the way it's expected. But if you work hard, you can learn it, and that type of thing. But don't think that you're the only one that's having questions or had some difficulty. This is doesn't come easily to very many people. It comes as we work it through and ask a lot of questions. We can do it together, though, if we'll work at it. There will be tests. There will be problem and essay oriented. They will all be online. It will not be multiple choice until the very end. The last exam will be a multiple choice comprehensive final exam, but the rest of them, most of your points will be from tests that are you take home and work on in terms of the problems. way we'll gauge class participation is there'll be discussion postings. Just some rules here about how to make those discussion postings. Of course, we expect everybody to be respectful, even if it's in disagreement. And you're going to have to give at least 2 or 3 complete sentences to get full credit for the points on those. So it can't be 1 or 2 word answers. They need to be thoughtful answers to those postings. We're going to have an individual written assignment that you're going to do some research, and the details are found later in the syllabus. And we're going to work on an annual report project in groups. I'll put you in groups in a couple of weeks, and you will work together and turn in one version of that report project per group. And so there will be some opportunity in discussion boards to collaborate, that sort of thing. Homework will also be a significant part of your grade. This is a situation where you will complete homework problems, usually that I give you the homework problems, and then you work them through, submit your answers in the Dropbox, and then you'll be able to see my explanation of my answers, from which you will then make corrections. And you can make those and resubmit your corrections based on my answers, and you will be able to get as many points if you turn in the homework, you tried all the problems, did all the work, and even if it was incorrect, if you make the corrections needed and explanation for what those corrections need to be, and return that in, you can get the same credit as if you did the homework perfectly. So you get the full points, even if there are mistakes, as long as you make the needed corrections and repost in the Dropbox. I've put everything, maybe too much detail, in the class activities and calendar, our reading, all the due dates. That's what we'll refer back to if there's ever a question about dates, so forth within the course. Our grading system, typical, then the other policies and such that are important. The requirements for the group annual report project is already here in the syllabus, so when it comes time to start working on that, you can refer back to the questions here. In fact, you can get looking at it already, and the details about the individual written assignment is here as well. So that's the syllabus, and again, if you have any questions about that or the class in general, there is a general course questions discussion board. If you need some help with research, what you're going to have to do for the individual written paper, there's a link to the library, a hack library. I've also put a discussion with introductions. I'd like you to all introduce yourselves to the class and notice that and reply so that you get to know each other a little better, and that will help us feel more connected to class, especially when it comes time to work on our group projects. I've posted a video about how to be successful in any difficult course, but particularly intermediate accounting, how to look at learning and making mistakes and being willing to do that, and how that is part of the learning process. I've also given you a video here that will help you maybe see how this differs from Accounting 101 and how we build on that based on what you already learned, and how we're going to go to the next level of trying to think like accountants rather than memorizing or just getting into the trap of just doing things the same way as somebody else did them over and over again. Rather, we want to think things through in an accounting way, in an analytical way. And that process, that analytical thinking, is valuable no matter whether you go on to in accounting or not. Okay, so that's your syllabus, introduction to class. There is here a couple of discussions that besides the introduction, there is a discussion about what we're going to be doing together. This is entirely extra credit. I hope you'll participate and kind of get a sense of what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing this semester. But it will result in bonus points that could be used later on if you don't do as well on something as you might like. And then we got to dive right into our first week of information. Each week is going to have this kind of outline to start with as to questions we're going to ask, kind of maybe a little motivational example, some outline of the material we're going to cover, and then the reading and explanations that I promised you that take the place of the textbook. Then there'll be discussions that are graded, and you'll post to get points, some ways to practice what we've learned from the discussions and from the material that I presented, and then homework, which then will be posted in the Dropbox and then corrected. And then as first couple of weeks, I've given you a checklist to make sure you don't miss anything as you get used to kind of the outline of the course and what is expected. So that's how I've organized things. Again, without a textbook, it's a little more on us to find the explanation and the answers rather than them be handed to us. But I think you can be successful in doing that. But don't hesitate to ask questions if something is unclear. And there will be a week, each week will be basically laid out this similar way as we move forward. So welcome to class again, and thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to working with you.